Hello, this is Pebbles, and welcome to the Positively Pebbles podcast. Now, before I get into today's show, I just want to take a minute to kind of address some changes that you'll notice if you've been listening for a while. So, first of all, the podcast is now just the Positively Pebbles podcast. And honestly, that is basically what it should have been from the beginning. It was always meant to be this companion to the Sunday Positively Pebbles newsletter. And I think I was just kind of a little too much in my head about it, feeling like it had to be something separate and new and different. But what I will say is that at the heart of what the show is, that hasn't changed. It's still meant to be kind of a midweek pick-me-up when we all usually need it. It's about hope and kindness and growth and self-love and all those great things. And you know how much I love a good news story, so you'll definitely still hear those as well. And hey, you'll get me, my thoughts, my heart, just me, flaws and all. So what has changed is that the podcast will be a little bit more conversational, more reflective, a space to kind of keep the conversation going after the newsletter comes out, whether you've read it or not. So if you've been here from the beginning, thank you. I am so grateful for you. I think about you seriously every single time that I put the podcast together, hoping that something that I say can help you in some way to encourage you, to kind of make you think, or maybe even just to put a smile on your face with some good news. And if you are new, welcome. I am so happy that you are here. And I seriously look forward to you being a part of this growing community. Now, with all that said, thank you for being here. And let's get into this week's theme, which is progress. And can we talk about how hard it is to see progress when we're in it? Like, seriously, I know for me, when I start a new project or I set a new goal or try to start a new habit, I do an awful job of recognizing the progress that I've made. It's like I can only see where I want to be or end up. And if it's not getting there fast enough, I really just get down on myself. And I can't help it. And I'm trying to get better at it. But honestly, it is really, really tough. And I'm sure you go through that too. I do believe that the best way through is forward. It keeps us going when we have setbacks or we fail at accomplishing a goal. But I do think sometimes it's important to look back to see how far we've come. So I apologize if you've heard this a million times, but my Korean class is the best example that I have to kind of explain what I'm talking about. That, and I'm obsessed with learning Korean and talk about it any chance that I can get. So just to give you a little bit of background, I initially started taking classes back in the fall of 2022. It's a Zoom class that's recorded, so if you miss a class, you can watch the recording to catch up. Fast forward a little, I ended up stopping and starting over a few times for different reasons. Got too far behind, I wasn't studying enough, and basically got frustrated with my progress. Well, I ended up having two friends sign up with me in the fall of 2024, and this time it has stuck. I have consistently done the classes, mostly live. I've gotten better at studying, although I have a long way to go to study as much as I want and need to, and that will only help me to make greater progress. But the good news is I am making progress, and it's taken me a long time to really recognize it as progress, but it is. Am I fluent in Korean like I want to be? No. Can I turn off the English subtitles when I'm watching my K-dramas? No. Am I ready to live my Delulu dream of interviewing BTS in Korean? Not even close. But if, again, in Delulu land, I were able to meet them, I would be able to say hi, tell them my name, and say thank you in Korean. That's not nothing, right? And not only can I say it, I would be able to write it. Again, that's not nothing. And I'm actually pretty proud of that. But unfortunately, I keep going back and forth. One day I'm proud of myself, and the next day I'm beating myself up for not remembering if it's Ulta or uta, that means to laugh. It's uta, by the way. And I guess all of this is just a reminder that progress can have lots of different looks. The way we would all love for it to look is kind of like a staircase that goes up until we reach the top. But the reality of it is that there are times when you might miss a step, you fall back. It's more kind of like a roller coaster than stairs. And like my Korean class, sometimes we start strong, fail, start again, fail again, start again. And I like to think that all of this is progress, even in the times that I've fallen short. Now, one of the reasons I think this way is because I looked up the definition of progress. The first one said, a movement toward a goal or to a further or higher stage. So in this case, it's all about the forward motion and moving higher. But another definition that I loved made me rethink progress. It's defined progress as growth or development, continuous improvement. And I like how this definition leaves room for like stumbles and failure. And I don't know about you, but the times that I've grown or improved, there've also been times that I've really struggled. And looking at my Korean again, the fact that it took me a while to learn certain phrases and words is proof of progress. One day I didn't know what 물 meant, and I didn't know it again and again and again. Until now, I can not only remember that 물 means water, but I can also ask for it. 물 주세요. Please give me water. And I know it might sound like I'm just showing off here that I know a little bit of Korean, but again, it's actually not. It's actually another example of progress because speaking the language in front of other people is just terrifying for me. It was so bad that I actually emailed our teacher a while back to ask her not to call on me in class because I would just freeze up. I know it's embarrassing that at my grown age, I, emailed the teacher, please don't call on me. And she was just really kind and she understood. And this was several months ago. And just recently, I started speaking up in class on my own. And it wasn't great or perfect or anything, but I did it. And I was so proud of myself. And that's why I like that definition of progress so much. Growth or development, continuous improvement. It doesn't say anything about a timetable or how that growth occurs, just growth, development, continuous improvement. Now, I'm not sure if this is helpful for you, but I hope that it will at least help you put progress in perspective. I feel like we have to learn that progress doesn't look the same from person to person, or even for ourselves, like project to project. It could be different each time. And I find that the best way to measure progress is by looking at where we started and where we are now. All that in-between stuff, that's where the progress is. It may not be the progress that you're hoping for, but it is progress. And you know what? If you want progress to be bigger than it is now, look at what you've done and figure out what you could do differently to get better results. Just don't look down at the progress that you have made. You did that. 축하해요. Congratulations. All right. I want to leave you with a great good news story that I recently shared on the radio, but it's definitely worth sharing here as well. So a dad named Travis shared a note that was sent home to parents from the teacher. It said, if your family is experiencing difficulties at home, I would like to provide additional support at school. I understand that you're not always able to share details, and that's okay. If your child is coming to school after a difficult night, morning, weekend, please just text me. Handle with care. Nothing else will be said or asked. This will let me know that your child may need extra time, patience, or help during the day. Travis said that he was just overwhelmed with how special educators truly are. Same, Travis. Same. Well, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Positively Pebbles podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I will leave you with this quote on progress that I shared in the newsletter. Just because you aren't making progress as fast as you think you should does not mean you aren't making progress. Keep going. I'm Pebbles, and until next time, keep looking for the positive in your progress, in the world, and in yourself.